Milwaukee's new dual backpack blower, model number 3009-24HD. If you get it in the kit, that kit's going to come with 4 batteries, 4 12-amp-hour batteries. This only needs 2 batteries to run. It'll run on almost all the M18 batteries out there. You probably want to stick with high output batteries. In my case, I wouldn't go with anything less than the 12-amp-hour batteries, and I rarely run this with only 2 12-amp-hour batteries in this. When I pull out a backpack blower, I feel I'm going to use it for a while, and it's proven that I need all 4 most of the time while I'm going to use this. 650 CFM, 155 mile an hour wind coming out of the end. You have 62 decibels, so this is quiet. It is nice to use around commercial buildings while they're up and running. It works great in that situation. You're not disturbing people. The ergonomics of this are absolutely wonderful. Many other gas units could take a lot of cues from this and really say this is how you should build a backpack blower, even down to the small little switch down here that adjusts the handle forward and back. There's a little cover here. This is going to hit your pants, it's going to hit you, and this is tight enough that you will never let it go. If you own a steel backpack blower, you probably know a little bit of what I'm talking about. This is loose enough it'll come wide open on you multiple times and then you'll have to readjust. Not a big deal. I also really think that taking this tube and making it roll up and down, but also limiting it so that it stops, so that you can let it go and it'll hang and you can walk, is amazing. Because when you flip this up and put it in its storage position, it is not stressing the tube. It is simply up and ready to go. Again, with many others, you stress this area here where it bends to put it up. In over time, it just gets wonky. The one complaint that I do have is it's a little bit harder to get this out. They got a pretty good clip in there. If you, to fix it, just bend it out. It's not a big deal. I dig every bit about this. The trigger that's on this is 3 modes. I don't need the 3 modes. That's the one thing I could do without. I have a variable speed trigger. That variable speed trigger works through all the modes. The modes basically just limit you. I run this in high all the time. It's just how I need it, and I use the variable speed trigger. The caveat to this whole thing, it is a love-hate relationship that I have with a lot of different tools. I like everything about what this has. It has enough power to get things done. I could use more. I can always use more power, so I'm not going to complain. When I pull out a backpack blower, I usually use it for a significant period of time. Otherwise, I'm going to pull out a smaller blower that I can walk around with, move with quickly, and I'm not putting it on my back and sweating. So when I pull this out, I'm going to use it for a significant period of time. And when I'm doing commercial buildings, large parking lots, and we're doing some cleanup or moving some things around or getting things out of the rocks or moving things around mulch, trying to get different trimmings out, these things are used for a while. And if you're running this guy on high, like I am, and you're usually got your throttle pinned, pretty much like I do, you're going to run this from anywhere from 25 to 30 minutes and you're out of battery. So that means that you have to have, in a commercial environment, a significant number of 12-amp-hour batteries to keep this going. Now in my case, I don't do that many large jobs a day where I run this for 20-30 minutes at a time, but it's in the fall I do. There's no doubt in the fall I would run through. In the fall, there's times that you're running a backpack blower for well over 4 or 5 hours, moving leaves, doing things, and just getting things going. You might even have 2 of them going. So if you start to think of the amount of batteries you need to run 1 or 2 of these machines for 4 or 5 hours, it becomes a little bit mind-blowing. Everything else beyond that in this blower is perfect. Everything else. I could use more power, but I need a lot more runtime. Outlet tube, as I mentioned, is perfect. It rotates. You can get it in any position that you'd like to. Very comfortable. The handle and grip is superb. You have all kinds of information that is going to be given to you right up front, and there is a cruise control. I, however, found this cruise control mine is not happy holding it wide open, but I don't need to. It's very comfortable. Trigger is easy. Output tube also goes in and out as it should. It does not extend and come flying out. It does not go in too far. It is perfect. Like I said, if you want to adjust this, just move that out. I like that it's tough to move. You get it to where you want it, pop it in place. It is not moving. It's got everything there. I absolutely love that. The pin that you have up here to lock this guy in place is wonderful. How it stores, absolutely great. I can put this anywhere that I'd like to, including on its back, and it just rocks it out. The backpack portion, to me, again, perfect. I have not moved this. You can adjust this upper piece up and down. So if you're taller, up, shorter, down, most likely, but you can put it wherever you'd like it. The straps are gonna hold everything in place. The carry handle up top allows you to move it when it's in the storage position very easily. Straps are not too wide, not too thin. They are all padded, and you don't sweat too much with this. And most of your back is open. Of course, I'm taller, this is up. If it was down a little bit, maybe it would be covering more of your back. This section in the bottom is a little more tight, not like memory foam or anything. It's got some good tight, but yet cushiony areas in it. Doesn't really cause you to sweat. You also have a place if you want to put this chest strap on, it'll hold everything in place, and you can get another strap that goes around your waist if you want to. Now this guy weighs 26 pounds-ish with 2 batteries and 32 pounds with 4. As a percentage of my weight, I don't notice it. Some people are gonna say that's way too heavy, but it's so comfortable to me, and again, as a percentage of my weight, not an issue. Do I notice that it's heavier than my BR800X? No, I don't, because I think this is much more comfortable and easier to move around. So to me, the weight is not a big deal. I would take the weight and be thrilled with it if I had just a touch more power and a lot more runtime. Inlet tube is off to the side. I very rarely have bumped this up against anything or sucked any trees or anything in. I do brush it up against stuff, but great place for it, works awesome. The batteries can be put in the top or they can be put in the bottom, but you have to have either 2 here or 2 here. You can't have 1 here, 1 here, 1 there. It just doesn't work. You have to have 2, and they're separated out in power on the handle. They go in and out very easily. I, in fact, probably think that most people are going to keep them on the bottom, even though this is labeled 1, 2, 3, and 4. I would assume that most people will just load 2 in the bottom if they are doing a job. And if you are doing a job that is not going to take a lot of power, just load 2 in here, do your work, drain 2, put 2 more in, do your work. You won't have to carry the extra weight. There is a great cage around this, so you can hang on to it. I have not worried about it falling over. I have not worried about anything with this. It just is nice. Like I said, you can store it however you'd like to. It is not a problem. And sometimes storing it like this is nice. If you have a lot of dust, dirt, grass, spider webs on the ground, this keeps this part of it up and clean. I feel like you're going to be able to find any review you'd like to find on this tool because it's going to be based on what people use it for. A lot of people are going to like the quietness of it. They're going to probably be okay with the weight if they're a little larger person, but if you're a really small person, maybe they won't be okay with the weight. To me, it's runtime because when I pull this out, I want to be able to have a lot of runtime to get large jobs done, and it's probably not the right tool for that job. But it does work when I'm cruising around cleaning off sidewalks or doing something like that just after I've mowed lawn, and I can use it in longer periods of time, even almost a full day's work by just cleaning off sidewalks and just doing little things after we've mowed. If I get into a larger job where I'm cleaning up other things, that's where it doesn't work. So there's going to be people who are going to really love this, and there's going to be people who probably don't. So when you're reading the reviews, take into consideration what that person used it for, and take into consideration what you're going to use this for, because that's going to tell you if it's going to work for you, and you're either going to be absolutely thrilled with every part of it, or you might be disappointed slightly with the runtime, or you might be disappointed slightly with the weight. There's a lot of little factors that's going to come into what works for you personally, and I think that this tool is probably going to accentuate them beyond what more others do, mostly because it's either going to be too heavy for you, or you're not going to care, it's not going to run long enough for you, or it's going to work perfect. Just a lot of different things. That's my take. Leave some comments below. What do you think? I would love to hear every bit of what you guys think about this. From the price of it, it's a little more pricey if you get the kit, because you're getting all those batteries. And if you have to buy 4 more batteries, it becomes even more pricey. Then you should look at more chargers, how you work with things, how you keep things charged. There's a lot to think about when you put this in a business, and that's what it's meant for. Comments below. Give us a like in this video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you for your time. Have a great day.